Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. Today, the US market is closed, but that's okay. There's still a lot of things to talk about and some very interesting things to talk about, especially what will reignite the Bitcoin bull run. And there are many, many signs that the bull run will be reignited very, very soon. So let's talk about all these things and more. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Welcome. We are starting out the day 96.6. And in case you're wondering, the U.S. market's closed due to President's Day. Yeah, that's why it's closed today. But you know what? We still have a lot of interesting things happening this week. I did record a Sunday walk video yesterday, but then I decided not to post it because there wasn't that much to talk about for this week. Just a few economic events, so I decided not to post it. And plus, the All-Star game was on, so I didn't know how many people were going to watch it anyways. But yeah, of course, there's always a chance that there may be more tariff stuff coming out. But it seems like the White House and the Fed is going to be talking about interest rates, because right now we're in a very weird situation where inflation is going up, okay, but economic activity is going down. So the Fed is like, okay, I can't lower the Fed fund rate, so what do you want me to do? The White House and Trump and Congress wants Powell to keep lowering the Fed fund rate. But if inflation keeps going up, that's the opposite of what you want to do, right? So I guess they're talking about this. They have to figure it out. Because usually when inflation goes up, what Powell has to do is raise the rate, not cut the rate. So that's why it's in a really weird position. And later this week, there are more, of course, economic data that's going to come out that you know, will make his decision even harder. For example, there's more housing data. On Wednesday, we're going to get Fed minutes. Usually before Fed minutes, the market gets a little volatile. So I expect tomorrow may be a little bit volatile, because usually a day before, like the Fed minutes, usually, you know, we do get a little volatility. And Thursday, we get jobless claims. It comes out, I mean, all the time, but still. People are now eyeing these things because of economic activity, or basically just like, you know, just how healthy the economy is. If it keeps on ticking downwards and inflation keeps going upwards, what's the next step? Are they going to start handing out stimulus checks again? Maybe that is the next step. And then you know what's going to happen if they do that? Inflation's going to skyrocket even more. And then, you know, that's counterintuitive to this whole plan of, you know, cutting rates, right? It's like, this is the worst case scenario, is like rates going back up before the Fed fund rate is cut back down, because now you're stuck. What are you going to do, right? And if the tariffs get implemented and there's a lot of retaliation tariffs around the world and cost of goods and everything start going up, then inflation numbers will go up, and again, it's going to make things worse. So, we're kind of in that period. It's not too bad yet. It's just started. Inflation just started ticking upwards from our 2%. We just hit 3%. So it's not like we're horribly rising. So they got to, there's still time for them to fix it. They need to fix it is what they need to do. We'll see. We'll see if it can be fixed short term. If it can't be fixed long term, right? That's why you need something better. You need Bitcoin. And I'll get to that point very shortly. Here's something else that relates, that doesn't relate, but it also relates, which is really interesting. There are a lot of things in our government that are head scratcher that no one ever thinks about until now. So there's a U.S. senator that tweeted out at Elon asking him to audit Fort Knox. You would figure like something official, like a gold vault, would be audited, right? Like, I guess the thought behind it is it's so secure that there can't be any way that gold is stolen or there's counterfeit gold or something, right? But apparently, no one has audited or checked the gold for like 50 years. I don't know if that's true. But, there are just some things that are head scratcher. You figure like every year they should at least send a person in there to kind of like look at things. Make sure the gold is there. Make sure the pile's not getting smaller. Someone internally is not like scratching a bar of gold away. I don't know. Something. Because as ludicrous as it sounds, it happens. Here, look at this. The Reserve Bank of Australia confirms fake gold bars at a Bank of England. So you think that something like that doesn't happen. Like there can't possibly be fake gold bars in banks or in bank vaults. It happens all the time. So that's why you do need to audit it, right? Like it's kind of like, it's kind of one of those things you never think about. But it got Elon thinking like, why has no one done this? And he's probably gonna go there. I mean, he's auditing things that haven't been audited forever. For example, he was just at the IRS. When was the last time the IRS got audited? Like, that's a serious concern. Like, who audited the IRS? The IRS is the top auditor of the country, but who audits the IRS? You think Congress audits the IRS? I don't think so. So, I mean, this Doge initiative, a lot of people complain about, cutting out USAID and Department of Education and getting access to US Treasury. I get the concerns, but like there are some legitimate stuff like auditing the IRS to make sure that money's not being wasted, making sure gold bars are actually legit. Like someone needs to do this. But, going back to the point, Bitcoin fixes this. You don't need to audit Bitcoin. There's no fake Bitcoin on the blockchain, okay? There's fake coins. There's a lot of fake coins, but they're not Bitcoin. If you have a Bitcoin that's on the Bitcoin network, it's real. You don't need to audit it. You don't need to verify. You don't need to shave off a little bit and test it. It's legit. That's one of the main things, the great things about Bitcoin, right? So yeah, I just find that to be very funny. I mean, it's not even funny. It's just like one of those head scratchers. It's just something that you just never think about, ever, right? Until it comes up, and then it just makes you wonder, like, what the hell has been happening all this time? But yeah, this proves a point. why Bitcoin is better. It's a better form of gold. It's digital gold, and this is not something you need to worry about. And if you want to transfer $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, or even $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin, you could do so instantly across the world without anyone stopping you or questioning you. Imagine if you tried to transfer $1 billion worth of gold bars. Let's say you had $1 billion worth of gold bars. Imagine trying to transfer that. How much manpower, security, and then the questions that you would get from authorities from your country to the country that it's going to. Just take a second to think about that. It's basically impossible unless you're a state nation. Like an individual, I don't think that could even be done to transfer $1 billion worth of gold bars. Anyways. That's why there are so many that say, hey, let's just get rid of gold. Okay, we don't need gold anymore. All these countries, including the US, we have way too much gold. Let's sell some gold. Okay, we don't need so much gold. Let's sell some gold and buy some Bitcoin. Let's get that Bitcoin strategic reserve going. We know Bitcoin is better. Okay, or maybe you don't think it's better, but it's smart to hedge against gold by having a little bit of Bitcoin. Just sell a little bit of gold and buy Bitcoin. And that would mean a lot. That would mean absolutely a lot. I don't know how much gold we have. We have trillions of dollars worth of gold, I'm sure. Trillions of trillions. Every nation, not every nation, the top nations have trillions and trillions of dollars worth of gold. Just selling a little bit of that could make a huge difference. Huge difference for Bitcoin. Okay. Moving on. On Friday, we did have a reversal for Bitcoin with the ETF. So we had 4 straight outflow days. We have 1 inflow. So that's good. So we'll see if this week reverses. Although this week it may be a little volatile because of some of the economic events that's happening. But long term, based on what I've just been saying and what I've been saying all along, people that tend to panic sell, that fall for a FUD, they will regret it eventually and come back and buy at a higher price. They will regret it either immediately when the price recovers, or they will regret it long term and realize, well, I should have never gotten rid of the best asset there is. It's going to happen. So if you're a long-term believer, why would you just not stay in the game and not fall for the FUD? So it's really that easy. It's really that easy. Now, there are many signs, right, that reinforces this. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look at what's happening, okay? Even though the price action short-term, non-existent right now, okay, we're stuck between this 96, 98,000. We kind of hovering between here for Bitcoin at least, right? But just pay attention to what's going on. Metaplanet, which is like a smaller version of Strategy from Japan, continues to purchase, okay, 269 Bitcoin. Not the biggest purchase, but still in the tens of millions now, right? When they started, it was in the single digits. Now, their purchases are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? But there are many that are purchasing a lot more. Millennium Management declares they have $2.6 billion in Bitcoin ETF holdings and $182 million in Ethereum holdings. Okay. Why do these guys, they're a huge hedge fund. Why do these guys hold over $2 billion in Bitcoin ETFs? Do you think they care about the short-term volatility when they're holding billions? Probably not. Probably not, because they see the bigger picture. Wisconsin Pension Fund increases their Bitcoin exposure to 321 million. That's a huge amount. Huge amount. We're talking about a lot of states, over 20 now, that's looking to add Bitcoin to their reserve, making a strategic reserve for Bitcoin. But individually, the states do have, like I just covered a story about highway patrol adding Bitcoin to their treasury. You have pension funds of states adding Bitcoin to their treasury. I mean, you have a lot. 321 million is not chump change. That's a huge amount. Huge amount. What about this? There's a sovereign wealth fund from Abu Dhabi that now has 436 million in ETF shares. Keep in mind, remember, Trump signed the executive order so that the U.S. will create a sovereign wealth fund. And one of the things that may be going in there is Bitcoin. I don't know when it's going to be created, but if they're going to start investing in things, okay, what better thing than Bitcoin? So there may be a real possibility. Not only does the U.S. create that strategic reserve, but also to go buy Bitcoin with that sovereign wealth fund. NCZ confirms that it's not just one. There's multiple accumulating Bitcoin. So it's not just one. There's many, many, many. I mean, just think about all the money that Middle East have, right? Where to go put it at? You think the Middle East is going to start buying gold? You think they're going to start buying billions and billions worth of gold? No. No, they're not. They're going to be putting it into tech and crypto. That's what they're going to be putting into. All right. So lastly, I'll just talk about this for Bitcoin, right? Short term, yeah. We may be stuck where we are. But long term, we just keep going up. And there are things that are helping long term. DXY, we always go through these cycles. I mean, we go through these like 4-year cycles, obviously, for Bitcoin because we have these halving events. But if you look at the dollar, we always have these. If you actually look at it, it's very coordinated. But DXY tends to fall down at certain times. That also helps push things upwards. So there are a lot of times presidential elections also help push things forward. There are trends outside that tend to, help push Bitcoin in certain directions, right? DXY falling is one of them. So we will see. And at DXY, in case if you're wondering, will probably fall due to everything that's happening right now. So stay strong. Stay strong. That's all I have to say about Bitcoin. Just read between the lines. Look at everything that's happening around the world. Look at all these wealth funds. Look at all these banks. Look at all these states. Look at all these countries. They're all getting involved. They're not getting involved because they don't see the future. They're not getting involved because they think the bull run is over. They're not getting involved because they think Bitcoin is the past. No, it's the opposite of all these things. So they really could care less about short-term price action. They're loading up because long-term prospects, long-term gains. All right, I guess the only other story to cover is this meme coin from the Argentinian president that came out over the weekend, labeled Libra. So President, I guess Milei, he came out with a meme coin, and it's supposed to be encouraging economic growth And it's supposed to fund small businesses and startups. But of course, you can't hide anything on the blockchain. 8 insider wallets cashed out $107 million in liquidity within hours of launch. I don't get why people launch a meme coin and don't think that there are internet detectives that won't detect this. This happened to the Haktua girl. Well, she probably just didn't know. Whoever she was working with just like rugged her probably. Okay. So she probably didn't know. But like someone like him, by now you would know, right? You gotta know who you're working with, especially if you're a president of a country. I mean, people are going to be studying the wallets. People are going to see exactly what's happening on chain. You can't hide when insider wallets are cashing out. So, big controversy. Lawyers are suing him. He may be impeached. And then CoffeeZilla looks into this. And there's some individual that's also linked up to Melania. It's not from the team, but there's a sniper that's been sniping all these major meme coins. Okay. And it's also tied to this other DEX called Meteoria, which I've never even heard of. But it all connects to this guy right here. This guy right here. Hayden Davis, who was the CEO of Kelser Ventures. So he has been sniping millions and millions and millions of dollars of all these major meme coins. Libra, Melania, Trust, Hood. He's been sniping and basically dumping them in the open market afterwards. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if he has insider information or it's totally legal. He just knew about it somehow and he's just doing it. I will say a lot of these is probably due to inside information. A lot of these guys are very well connected. If he is a VC, I guess he probably does know a lot of people. I don't know, but CoffeeZilla interviewed this guy and he just openly said it. He's like, yeah, I've been sniping the hell out of all these projects. So that's another reason why you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Even when a president launches, you got to figure when a president launches, they won't really rug, right? It's still hovering around $332 million. When it came out, it like pumped to close to $3 billion. But now it's holding about 332 million, which I guess is still decent, but if you look at it, it's all sells right now. All sells. And if you look at the holders, there's one wallet that's holding 50%, one wallet holding 20%, one wallet holding 18%, and then one wallet holding 4%, 2%. You add all that together, that's more than 80%. And then vast majority of people have less than that. So obviously, the insiders hold a lot. All right. Well, the U.S. market's closed, so I can't really look at what the U.S. market is looking at. But I did notice a few things. Today, ADA, Cardano is particularly strong. In fact, since yesterday, it's been very strong, kind of deviating itself a little bit. Chainlink is also particularly strong today. ADA's up about 7%, Chainlink's up about 5%. XRP not moving, about 271. Actually went down a little bit. The biggest disappointment so far right now is Solana. Solana has gotten extremely weak. I don't know if it's due to all the controversy behind Libra and all these other memes that have launched, but they are down to 184, which I think is a bargain at this point, but they have gotten really weak recently. Several others still holding. Injective today is doing pretty well, up 7%. Yeah, that's about it. All right, let's do some Q&A. Yeah, Sui has also dropped to a low level, but I think the biggest bargain right now has to be Solana. Let's see if I missed anything. Scrolling up. There's a super chat on top asking about Wall Street Pepe. No comment. Oh, I missed it. ETH is having a good day. ETH is up a little bit, 4.6%. Not bad. But I would say today the standout is Cardano, up to 82 cents, but still down versus, being under a buck for Cardano is still, that makes it a pretty good bargain, but up 17% for the week. XRP up 12% in a week. BNB still up due to CZ's meme. Bitcoin basically hasn't moved for a week. Robin, do you think GRT will reach this cycle or in the future? I think you meant reach all-time high this cycle. I don't see why not. There's always a chance, man. But man, looking at that, oof. They were like 230 or something. I take that back. I don't know if they can get back to 230, to be honest. 2021 was a different time. Altcoin season, I think this year will be, this cycle is going to be different. The graph is insanely useful, but I don't know if everything's going to get back to their previous high. And the graph doesn't have a max supply. The supply keeps increasing. That's another thing too. You could see since 2021, there has been major unlocks. So the token price probably will not get back. The market cap could, but the token price probably will not reach the heights of 2021. The circulating supply has gone up like almost 8x, 7x, 8x from 2021. Chris, I can't tell you anything about Pi Network except everyone tells me it's bad. So I've never looked into it, but I've never heard good things about Pi. And silly, same to you. Is it this one? I don't even know which pi it is. Is it this pi IOU? If it's this one, it looks like it's not good. I don't know which one it is. Getting a little movement for Bitcoin. That's good. Getting back to 97. RN, Sonic has been on fire lately. Their TVL is skyrocketing. Do you think a matchup with Sol or Sui? It's always a possibility, but I just don't see, I don't hear enough dApps or memes or AI projects going on top of Sonic. I haven't heard of any recently. Their TVL is going up probably because the token is going up or the coin is going up. But I don't even know the biggest DEX on Sonic. $450 ain't bad. That's not bad. What's their biggest DEX? Shadow Exchange? Swap X? WAGMI? Man, those are pretty small. Never heard of any of those. See, this is their problem. They don't even have like, you figure by now like Uniswap or someone would enable liquidity on there. Yeah, I've never heard of Shadow Exchange ever, and that's their biggest DEX. Oh, they do have it, but no one, yeah, there's like nothing, no liquidity for Uniswap. Spooky Swap, I have heard of them. I thought that was the biggest DEX, but they only have 1.2 million TVL. Yeah, that used to be their biggest DEX, Spooky Swap. Man, they have fallen really, really behind. Now it's Shadow DEX. Anyways, this is looking good. This is looking good. There's always a chance. Andre Cronje is one of the OGs in the DeFi space. There's always a chance. I think it's too early to call, but if you start seeing a lot of announcements, a lot of new players coming in and they're choosing Sonic as the chain, then that would be great. It's the purple dot symbol with the yellow leather. Price not tracked. Just, if it's an in-app currency, then just let it be. As long as you're not buying it, you're getting it for free, it's something, but I don't think it's going to amount to anything. I don't think that was ever the intention. In this cycle, can GRT reach $1? I don't know, man. Robin, I can't tell you. Other than it's possible. It's possible. I don't get it. People are getting Pi for free. Why are people so concerned about it? Like, as long as you're not buying it, if you're getting it because you're running, a Pi machine or whatever, and you're getting it, then it's all good. Unless you're actually physically buying it on an exchange or a DEX or something. ArcBlock, I have heard of this project before. I forgot what they do. It's like a ecosystem. Is it ecosystem for creating a blockchain? Yeah, suite for building decentralized applications, not a blockchain for just building applications. It's one of those very like boring projects, Morgan. That's all I can say. It's more of a B2B project. So can it do well? Sure. There's a lot of retail interest. Is there going to be a lot of real retail interest? I doubt it. It's not a very sexy project. You're welcome, Chris. Are you still bullish on stacks? I'm neutral. Not bullish, not negative. Neutral. They're still the biggest L2 for Bitcoin. But I don't hear a lot about ordinals anymore. I don't hear a lot about, we went through this phase where NFTs, ordinals, memes, tokens on Bitcoin were going wild. And that was last year. We went through this phase. Now I don't hear anything about it. Runes, but runes, you don't need stacks for that. But, there was a phase where like everyone wanted to build on top of Bitcoin. I just don't hear about that anymore. It seems like that phase kind of died down. So it could be a reason why stacks isn't as hot as before. Gus, I really don't have a pick that will most likely do a 10x in top 25. I haven't even been looking. I've been sticking with what I've been saying in my Sunday walk videos. Just the big ones. The big caps and Bitcoin. I don't think altcoin season, I'm convinced now altcoin season this cycle is not going to be like before. It's not like you go throw a dart at any of them and they will all go up. I'm convinced that it's not going to be like that this cycle. I think a lot of them will get back to their previous high, but I think a lot won't get back to their previous high anymore. And only the few will do very well. So I haven't even been looking for like a 10x play. I think a lot of the a lot of the ones I've been talking about has the potential to do a 5 to 10x already, even the big ones. Some of the smaller ones, I don't know. I haven't dug into any new one that I think so. But I do think a lot of memes definitely has a 10x potential. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of these memes I don't even keep up with. But I think they can do definitely a 10x for sure. AVAX meme season back, Cat. I heard of Cat before a while ago. I don't think right now is like meme season, to be honest. When the market gets hotter, the memes will do a lot better. Right now, I don't think it's meme season. What's going on with Dot? Well, Jay answered for me. LOL, nothing. That sums it up. Nothing is going on with Dot. Avoid stress. Just follows George's 50, 25, 25. That is correct. That is correct. Right now, more than ever, I think that makeup, that portfolio makeup, proves itself. Like having Bitcoin be at least 50% of your portfolio is proving why it works. That stability of Bitcoin, man, that's been saving a lot of people's portfolio. If you've been having a ton in alts, it's been hurting. It's been hurting a lot. Ethnia, I don't know. Ethnia was kind of pumped. It pumped. It's like it's DeFi play. I don't know. I'm not convinced about ETH DeFi. A lot of people are still big ETH guys. Still think that ETH will come back very strong, and I'm not one of those guys. I think ETH is not gonna go away, but I don't think ETH DeFi is gonna be the same as before. So, yeah. And something else about Ethnia is look at the market cap versus FDV. FDV is at 7 billion already. Okay, there are a lot more tokens that are unreleased at this point. So it's a much bigger project than it seems. The circulating supply is 3 billion, but there's a total supply of 15 billion. So there are a lot of tokens waiting to be released. So it's already a much bigger project than it looks. Yeah, it's one of those yield projects. I don't know. I'm neutral. I'm not negative, just neutral on it. Cam. George, thoughts on Magic treasure token for GameFi? Magic is interesting. It's like a whole chain for games. But as we know, games have not been hot this cycle. Not one bit. There has not been one project that has done well. So honestly, that's what's holding them back. Holding all games back. The Web3 gaming projects have not gotten hot at all. That's just the honest reality. There are a lot of gamers that just don't care about the crypto aspects of games. You have very few games, like with the exception of a few, maybe like Off the Grid, that you actually have millions of people playing, but they could care less about the Web3 elements. And I'm not even sure if Off the Grid released all the Web3 elements. It certainly hasn't done anything for Avalanche. I'm not sure they released all their stuff yet. Maybe if they do and people are like buying AVAX like crazy, then it will change the game. But I think Off the Grid is going to come out their own token and be a subchain on Avalanche. But right now, I don't think that has happened yet. Andrew, I don't think Ethereum's going to go away anytime soon, but obviously the other chains are taking away from it. It's not going to be the dominant powerhouse like before. 2021, everything's just only on Ethereum. Everything else is new. But that is no longer the case now. Now all the chains that were new in 2021, they have all matured now. Not in the same way. They're not as mature as Ethereum, but it's the same. Okay, I don't know. What's a good analogy for this? iPhone. When iPhone came out, dominant smartphone. There was no competitor. And then Android came out, right? And it diluted the smartphone market. iPhone will never be as strong as before because there are competitors now. It's just that simple. The same thing with Ethereum. There are competitors now. So Ethereum may never go away. It could always be around and it could always be strong. But forever, there will be competitors. So it'll never be as strong as before when it was just solo. I guess that's the best way to think about it. Akeem, yeah, just trying to keep it real. BlackBerry is a better example. I'm trying not to be too bearish. I'm going to try something new. I'm reading this new book. I never ever read. But I hear so many smart people talking about this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. So I only got started. But one of the first chapters is to talk about don't complain, don't criticize, because it doesn't serve anything. It doesn't serve anyone any good. So I'm going to try to be more like that on my streams. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to try to see the good in projects and be more neutral. And I'm not going to say bad things. I'm going to try to be more positive about everything. Even with Litecoin, even with ICP, even with whatever else. Josh, stop it. uh, I I did watch the All-Star game last night. It was good until it wasn't. I mean, they still need to do something. Wemby seemed like he really tried, but no one else was keeping up at his pace. They need to get people to be more hungry in the game. Like the old heads just really don't care. They just keep jacking up threes. No, Adam. I'll still be, I'll still be real about things. If they're bad, I'll call them out, but I'll try to leave my opinions for myself, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Lotto, this cycle has been a trader cycle unless you've been holding Bitcoin. A few good alts. Holders have been getting killed this cycle. It depends on your timeline. Okay? Because my DCA portfolio is still up like 90%. And that's just been holding. So it depends on your timeline and it depends on what you're holding. My DCA portfolio is holding at least 50% Bitcoin. And that's what I've been advocating, 50% in Bitcoin, 25% big caps, 25% small caps. If you've been following that, your portfolio is still fine. Obviously, if you've been holding only Bitcoin and only the good alts, it would be better. You're right about that. But if you've been holding since 2021 and you've been following the process, there's no way you should be down. Thoughts on on-chain linking? Is it still a good buy? I don't know what on-chain linking is. Javier, I know you're not really into memes, but I think SPX 69,000 is one that's competing with other top memes. I've heard of it. I don't know why it's considered one of the top meme coins. I really don't. The name sounds funky to me. Looking at it, it's not on a lot of big exchanges. I mean, the Circuit Supply, Max Supply, I mean, those look good. I don't know what else. I don't know about the holders and stuff. I mean, the fact that it's above 500 million and it's holding, it's one of the bigger memes at this point. But what makes it better than one of the others, I really don't know. That's Murad's coin, Murad's #1 pick. Okay, then that makes sense. All right. Well, I guess on that note, I'll see you guys tonight. Stay strong, my friends. A lot of great things still happening in this space. A lot of great things. You just have to pay attention. Okay? And I'll see you guys tonight. Usual time, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.